We stand on a trembling edge of time, where rumors of war beat like war drums across the world's stage. The whispers are heavy with fear. Iran preparing a doomsday attack. The thunder grows louder. Destructive defense systems will destroy Israel and the US. But let us not drown in the noise of dread. Let us rise instead with the voice of the unbroken. The voice that has always sung even when the world tried to silence it. In the shadow of every looming threat, truth lives. And where truth lives, so too does power, not the kind born from bombs or borders, but the enduring strength of the soul. Here are 5 truths to carry like armor, drawn from the legacy of those who have turned pain into poetry and pressure into diamonds. You may tread through storms, but storms cannot tread through you. That is the truth you must hold close when the world begins to roar with fury and uncertainty. Storms will come, they always have. They wear new names, carry new weapons, fly new flags, but their aim is always the same: to shake you, to make you doubt, to convince you that you are small and powerless. But hear this clearly: you are not small and you are never powerless when you stand in truth. When headlines scream about missiles and warnings flash with talk of doomsday, your instinct may be to tremble. And it is human to tremble. But you are more than human. You are spirit, you are history, you are the echo of every ancestor who survived greater chaos with far fewer tools. Your breath is the continuation of a miracle. That miracle has faced empires, invasions, diseases, disasters, and despair. And still, here you are. That alone is proof that storms may pass through your land, may try to poison your skies, but they cannot uproot what is grounded in purpose. Storms test everything: the roots of a tree, the design of a shelter, the strength of a soul. But testing is not the same as breaking. You are allowed to be tested. You are allowed to feel shaken. But you are never allowed to forget who you are. Fear will knock at your door in the form of war drums, in the sound of leaders threatening to destroy each other with missiles and machines. But fear should find your door locked, and your heart steady. Because while storms blow loud and wild, they do not last forever, and they do not own you. They say Iran prepares for a great retaliation. They say destruction is coming. But even if the clouds darken and the air trembles, you must remember this: you are not made of paper and straw. You are made of fire that knows how to warm without burning. You are made of stone that knows how to stand without wounding. The true strength lies not in the hand that strikes, but in the heart that endures. That is the strength inside you now, and that is the strength that cannot be wiped out by any warhead or threat. If the world turns to chaos, let your center stay calm. Let your spirit stay clean. Do not absorb the hatred hurled across borders. Do not make a home for panic in your chest. Instead, make a home for faith, not blind faith, but the kind that's been built by witnessing the impossible become real, over and over again. You've seen healing where wounds were deep. You've seen unity after division. You've seen people rise from rubble, and souls shine in the night. That is not fantasy. That is the truth of the human spirit. So walk through this storm not as one seeking shelter, but as one who carries it within. Be the calm voice in rooms full of shouting. Be the hand that steadies the trembling. Be the example of what it means to be unshaken. Do not become the fear. Do not become the rage. You are not a reflection of the storm. You are the response to it. And that response can change everything. So let the world rage. Let it shout. Let it threaten. But let it also witness this: you, still standing, still breathing, still hoping. For in that moment you become more powerful than any bomb, more enduring than any fear, and more essential than any weapon ever built. The storm may try to tread through you, but it will find itself lost because you are the mountain, and mountains do not move. A nation's true defense is not in missiles but in its memory. It is not found in the cold steel of weapons or the reach of drones. No, it lives in the heartbeat of its people, in the stories passed down from wrinkled lips to wide-eyed youth, in the moments when dignity was chosen over destruction. When the world tells you that power is measured by the size of an arsenal or the speed of a strike, remember this: the most enduring power is the kind that cannot be detonated or dismantled. It is the kind rooted deep in memory, collective, ancestral, spiritual. Missiles can fall, buildings can collapse, borders can shift. But what remains is the soul of a people, the stories they refuse to forget and the values they carry even in exile. A nation that remembers who it is cannot be erased. History is not just what is written in books, it is what lives in the breath of the grandmother, who still hums the song she sang during wartime. It is in the hands of the father who builds despite broken soil. It is in the courage of the youth, who refuses to surrender their dreams even when the skies grow dark. Do not be fooled by the noise of military might. Do not measure your strength by how loudly your leaders speak, or how many weapons they boast of having. Those things may win battles, but they do not win peace. They may destroy cities, but they cannot build nations. What builds a nation is the memory of love in times of hate, hope in times of despair, and unity in times of division. Memory reminds us not only of who we were, but of who we still have the power to become. You are not the threats made in your name. You are not the headlines that predict doom. You are not the calculations of generals in distant rooms. You are a living archive of every moment your people have faced extinction, and chose instead to survive. You are the voice of every poet who wrote by candlelight while bombs fell outside. You are the song that rose from ruins. You are the testament to a power that refuses to die. And so hold fast to memory. In every act of kindness, you honor it. In every moment of truth-telling, you restore it. In every choice to forgive rather than hate, you preserve it. The legacy of a people is not in how many enemies they defeat, but in how faithfully they protect what makes them human. It is easy to forget when the world is loud and fast, when news cycles blur the lines between truth and propaganda. But you must not forget. You must be the keeper of your history, the guardian of your people's soul. And when war drums beat and nations posture, remember that the strength of your defense lies not in how quickly you can retaliate, but in how deeply you are rooted. Missiles rust, empires fall, but memory, living, breathing memory, carries on. It walks with you into every future, every battle, every peace agreement, every prayer. Let others build walls of steel, you build walls of truth. Let others train soldiers, you raise storytellers, teachers, builders, healers, because while others prepare to destroy, you prepare to endure. You prepare to transform. And when the world looks back, not at the wars but at the survivors, it will see your people standing, not because they were feared but because they remembered. And in remembering they found the strength to rise again and again, no matter how hard the fall. Do not match fire with fire. Bring water, bring light. That is the wisdom that stands taller than missiles and louder than the shouts of war. In a time where rage is traded like currency and revenge is dressed as justice, it is tempting to mirror what has hurt you. But you are not a reflection of destruction. You are the embodiment of resilience, the answer to violence that does not echo it but dissolves it. Anyone can strike back. It takes real power to rise above. When people speak of war as if it's the only language nations can understand, remember that fire consumes everything, even the hands that throw it. Retaliation born from pain often forgets to ask whether its aim is healing or just a louder kind of suffering. You were not built to burn, not built to destroy. You were built to endure, to rebuild, to lead even when the path is made of ash. You are here to hold the torch, not to set the world aflame. It is said that Iran prepares for something vast, something final, that missiles could fly and skies could be ripped apart by the roar of vengeance. But if you listen closely beyond the noise of war drums, you will hear something softer yet more powerful. It's the whisper of restraint, the strength of those who know they could destroy but choose not to. There is something holy in that choice. There is something deeply human in deciding not to become the very force that tried to break you. Choosing light in times of darkness is not weakness. It is the ultimate show of strength. The world has seen enough of hatred, enough of flames dancing in city skies, enough of children learning the sound of sirens before the sound of lullabies. Be the one who changes that. Let others be remembered for their wars. You will be remembered for your wisdom. Let them roar, you will shine. Do not believe that peace is passive. There is nothing soft about standing in a world full of violence and refusing to be shaped by it. There is nothing naive about building when others destroy. There is nothing weak about laying down arms to lift up hands in hope. That takes more courage than war ever did. To be kind in a cruel world is to wage a revolution of your own. Your power lies not in how loud you shout, but in how clearly you see. See beyond the rage. See the people behind the politics. The lives behind the labels. The mothers behind enemy lines who want only safety for their children, just like you. The fathers who pray their sons will not be taken by the machinery of hatred, just like yours. We are more alike than we are different, and if we forget that, we lose everything worth defending. So when the world says prepare for fire, prepare instead to bring rain. Cool the fever of conflict with the calm of clarity. When it says answer violence with more violence, answer with vision, with a dream not just of survival but of a world where survival isn't the only thing we do, where we live, thrive, laugh, build and teach our children something better than war. Do not match fire with fire. Bring water. Bring light. Be the storm's stillness. Be the world's balance. In one day when the fire has passed and the smoke clears, your light will still be burning, steady, whole and untouched by the flames. That is the kind of legacy no weapon can take. When the world prepares for endings, prepare for beginnings. That is how hope survives, by planting seeds where others see only scorched earth. In times of war, in times when nations speak of destruction as if it is destiny, you must become a builder, not with bricks alone, but with belief. You must see beyond the ruins, beyond the smoke, beyond the predictions of annihilation, and imagine something greater waiting to be born. The end of something does not mean the end of everything. Sometimes it is only the end of illusion, of injustice, and in that clearing something beautiful can grow. They say war is coming. They say it will be great and terrible, that entire regions may fall under ash and fire. Let them say what they will. You do not need to believe in their ending, because you carry your own beginning. Do not let their despair become your language. Do not let their vision become your future. You were not put on this earth to witness destruction. You were born to be part of creation. Even when everything around you collapses, even when every screen and station fills your mind with dread, know this: your spirit was not made to crumble, it was made to rise. Great beginnings often come dressed as tragedy. The seed must break to grow. The earth must tremble to make room for new life. So too must we sometimes be shaken, not to be destroyed, but to be awakened. This is your moment not to prepare for the worst, but to prepare for the best that is yet to come. The world may turn to weapons and war rooms, but you turn to vision. Turn to your inner fire that whispers, there is more than this. That is not denial. That is power. That is clarity. You may be surrounded by cynics, by those who believe nothing ever changes except the names of the dead. But you are not one of them. You are not made of despair. You are the answer to it. Every generation is faced with a moment when they must decide, will we surrender to the chaos, or will we create a new way? And though the path to peace is never easy, though it may cost you comfort, may cost you pride, it is always worth more than the hollow victory of vengeance. Beginnings ask for courage. They do not demand perfection, nor do they guarantee comfort, but they require honesty. Honesty about what no longer works. Honesty about what must be left behind. And then faith. Faith that what you build with your heart and hands will stand longer than what others destroy. Do not be afraid to dream even now, especially now. For your dream might be the very blueprint the world will follow after the fires fade. Let your beginning be loud in its quiet. Let it speak through your actions, through the way you show compassion, the way you choose understanding when anger would be easier. Every time you choose to build instead of break, to listen instead of shout, to hope instead of hate, you are already changing the world, not with the force of bombs but with the force of belief. So when they speak of endings, when they say the worst is yet to come, you say this: the beginning is already here. It is in every hand that plants rather than poisons, in every voice that heals rather than harms, in every soul that still dares to believe in a sunrise no missile can block. The world may not see it yet, but you do. And that is enough to begin. You are not alone even when the world grows silent. In the darkest hour, when it seems like no one is watching, when cries for peace are buried beneath threats of war, and when hope feels like a fragile whisper lost in the storm, remember you are never truly by yourself. There is a strength that comes from within. Yes. But there is also a sacred strength that rises when hearts across the world beat in quiet harmony, even if their voices cannot be heard, across borders, behind veils of censorship. Beyond politics and propaganda, there are souls just like yours, hoping, praying, standing. In moments when leaders speak of destruction as though it is a necessity, and war becomes a chant, echoing through streets and screens, you might feel abandoned. You might think you're the only one who wants something better, something different, something sacred. But you are not alone. Somewhere a mother rocks her child and wonders if he will grow up to see peace. Somewhere an artist dips a brush into colors of hope, even as the skies gray with the smoke of conflict. Somewhere a child still plays, still laughs, still dreams, unaware of the weight the world tries to carry. That shared humanity is your family. You do not need to see their faces or hear their words to know they are there. Their courage is stitched into the same spiritual fabric as yours. The borders are political. The connection is eternal. Do not let the silence of the powerful deceive you into believing the powerless have disappeared. They are not gone. They are watching. They are waiting. And they are with you. You do not stand in this hour of danger by yourself. Even if your country feels isolated, even if your beliefs are mocked, even if your truth is dismissed, you are not standing in vain. Truth does not need a crowd to be valid. It needs only one voice to be spoken, and thousands will feel its vibration. Your stance in peace, in compassion, in clarity, it matters. More than you may ever see in headlines. More than you will ever hear shouted back. And when the world feels cold, let the warmth of shared pain and shared perseverance remind you that someone else is walking through the same storm. And just like you, they refuse to lie down. They refuse to let hatred win. Whether it is in the alleyways of Gaza, the hills of Tehran, the cities of Tel Aviv, or the villages of forgotten lands, hearts beat for justice. Hearts beat for dignity. And those hearts, connected through struggle, are your community. In your loneliness, remember the voices that have been silenced, and know they are still speaking through you. Remember those who fell not in vain but in the name of something greater. Remember that the light which guided them still shines, and you carry a piece of that flame. When you speak truth, when you love despite reason to hate, when you create beauty in the midst of ruin, you are part of something ancient, something divine, something that will never be destroyed. Even if they erase your name, they cannot erase your legacy. Even if they bomb your cities, they cannot touch your soul. Even if they try to silence your truth, it will live on in the breath of others who, like you, believe in a better way. So rise, not alone, but among a silent army of souls who stand where you stand. Dream what you dream, and refuse to accept that destruction is all that's left. You are not alone. You never were. You never will be. And that knowledge, that eternal connection, is more powerful than any weapon ever made.